There are hundreds of videos on YouTube that talk about flexibility, but a lot of these videos come from people that are naturally flexible. So make sure you do yourself a favor. If you truly are tight in your hamstrings and hips, learn from somebody who has been there, like me. And if you don't want to watch this video, find somebody else that has been through the struggle. I'm Joey, aka Mini Movement Man. Consider subscribing to my channel if you want to learn how to incorporate more activity or exercise into your everyday life. Now let's get to this stretching routine. Most guys have tight hamstrings and tight hips. So I've been doing this stretching routine for a little while now, and it's made a lot of improvement in those areas specifically. So the way that I'm able to stay comfortable in this routine so that I can relax my body into the stretches is that I actually sit on yoga blocks. This is elevating your hips up in the air, which in turn makes the stretches slightly easier. So with that being said, if you feel like you want to challenge yourself, you don't have to sit on the yoga blocks. You can sit directly on the ground, or if you have something that's not quite as thick as the yoga block, you could begin to slowly do this routine and lower yourself down, little chunks at a time. All right, so here we go. We're going to start by coming into our seated position, and I'm going to go into a cross leg position. Keep track of which leg is inside and outside. All right, now from here, we want to make sure that we're sitting tall and not slouching over. So if we have a lot of restriction in our hips, even our knees or our ankles, this might cause us to do a slouching, and it's going to make being in this position very uncomfortable. So again, elevating your hips, sitting on the yoga block is going to make it easier so that it becomes bearable. When we're holding our stretches, one of the keys is to keep yourself as relaxed and as calm as you can. So while we're sitting here, we're focusing on sitting tall and staying calm. In through the nose, out through the mouth with the breathing. You can do little mobilizations of different parts of your body, like you can bend your neck, or we can twist our torso. We can always flex forward with the torso, or even just play around and extend the spine. So again, you can do whatever you want while you're sitting in this cross-leg position. Try to find areas that you feel a stretch and work them out. All right, so we spent about 30 seconds to a minute in this cross-leg position. Now I'm going to go into our forward fold. I'm going to bring my legs out into this long sit position. From here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do pumps. I'm going to do 20 of these dynamic pumps where I'm coming forward and backwards. I'm using this recoil quality that our muscles have, this elastic quality. I want to go in and out of the stretch. Once I'm done my 20 pumps, I want to make sure that I'm coming down into the stretch with a straight torso. Once I've come as far as I can, then I'm going to let my head, neck, and shoulders round forward. So here we go. I'm going to go 3, 2, exhale into the stretch. I come forward with the straight torso. I'm using compression to pull my stomach close to my thighs. Once I've come as far forward as I can, then I'm going to let my head, neck, and shoulders round forward and go deeper into the stretch. Now your hands can either support your body by just resting on the ground. You can also put your hands on top of your legs or underneath. You can actually pull yourself further into the stretch. 10 more seconds. 7, 6. Trying to stay calm and relaxed is the key. 3, 2, and 1. Coming up. Now I'm going to go into the cross leg position again, but this time I'm going to put the opposite leg in first. And again, I'm going to sit in this position anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute. If you are tight in your hips, even in your ankles or your knees, you're going to really feel this. So your goal is just to sit here as long as you can while keeping it in that comfortable range. Once it becomes unbearable, then it's time to get out. If you can sit in this position for a prolonged period of time, I would say, about a minute is probably pretty good, and you can do all your mobilizing that you want to. All right, up next, we're gonna go into our head to toe stretch. Now this is going to be working on the hamstrings, stretching them out, as well as the calf muscles, and technically all the way up through your back. This is gonna stretch one leg at a time. So just like with our forward fold stretch, I did 20 pumps and I held for a rough 30 seconds. You don't have to do those exact numbers. With that forward fold, you could do 8 pumps and hold for 10 seconds, or 12 pumps and hold for 20 seconds. It doesn't really matter, but I would suggest writing down what you do, so that way over time you can see what you did the last time, and when you go to do it again, you'll change up your numbers. Like you'll either do more pumps the second time, or you would hold your stretch longer the second time. That way you can get into this progressive overload theory, and in turn, that'll help you make some progress a little quicker. So now let's set ourselves up for this modified head to toe stretch. Once again, I'm sitting on the yoga blocks, and if you don't want to sit on the yoga blocks, you can sit directly on the ground. All right, so I'm going to be stretching my right leg. So I'm going to use my left arm to stretch out the right leg. So with my left arm, I'm going to put my hand on my right shoulder, so that way my elbow is pointed towards my foot, specifically the big toe. Now this leg here that's free, you can either just have it slightly flexed out to the side, or you can come into this four pose position. Whatever you want to do is fine. With this one here, you generally want to do more pumps with this stretch. So I'm going to do 50 pumps, and then I'm gonna do a 40-second hold. So again, as I'm doing these pumps, I'm focusing on going into the stretch, but not into my maximum range. I'm coming forward, backward, so I'm feeling the stretch, getting out of the stretch. You can see that the tempo of these pumps is relatively quick. Again, I'm using a little bit of momentum to help warm my body up and to help get that stretch ready for our hold. All right, 15 more pumps. 12, 11, 10. Same thing with this. When you come down, you want to have that straight torso, and then you want to let your head, neck, and shoulders round forward. 5, 4, 3, 2, and here we go. 1. Notice how I went slowly into the stretch, and I didn't do a fast pump into it. I don't want to be jarring on the body. Again, the goal is to keep your body relaxed, calm, and loose. If you don't keep your body relaxed, your muscles have sensors in them that will actually contract your muscle. So like, let's say if your muscle gets stretched out too fast, too quickly, a defense mechanism is that sensor will kick in and it'll contract the muscle, and it tries to stop your muscle from overstretching. So when we're doing a stretching routine, we don't want that to happen. That's why we need to do everything calm and relaxed and slow. Again, keep on pointing that toe, that elbow towards the big toe, and we're using compression. We're using our stomach muscles to help pull our chest close to our legs. Flex those toes up towards your head. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And now come out. Now in between each head to toe stretch, I'm going to do a toe stretch. So I'm gonna come into this kneeling position. I'm going to stab my big toes into the mat. So you might feel a stretch in your toes just with your hands forward. You can also bring your hips up and really feel the stretch. To increase, you want to bring your hips further down. You want to sit on the top of your heels. And if that's not enough, you can actually lean back into it. Again, all these numbers can change and be modified to what works for you. Right now I'm doing a 20 to 30 second hold in this position, trying to focus on stretching more of the big toe rather than the pinky toes. All right, now let's come out of that head to toe stretch. Let's come out of that toe stretch, and we're gonna go into our second head to toe stretch. Now I'm going to be stretching the opposite leg, which is my left leg. So my left leg is out. That means that my right elbow is going to be pointed towards the big toe. This hand that's free can either be on the mat, or you can just wrap it around your body, anywhere that it doesn't get in the way. And we're going to begin the pumping sequence. So again, with this stretch, you generally want to do more pumps. That way we're really stretching out the muscle, getting it warmed up, and we're gonna hopefully be able to go deeper into the stretch once we get into our static hold. Notice how I'm always doing these big breaths in and out. The last thing that we wanna do while stretching is to hold your breath, because that's just gonna create more tension. 20 more pumps. 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Go into that hold slowly with an exhale. Here we go. All right, I'm using my free hand to help pull my torso closer to my leg. We want to use compression to see how close we can get our stomach and our chest to our leg. Keep on flexing your toes up towards your head. That way you know that you're engaging your calf muscles as well. 20 more seconds in this hold. Let your head drop in between your arm and make sure you're pointing that elbow towards the big toe. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come out of the stretch. Always come out of your stretches slowly. You can actually massage the muscles that you're stretching to help get some blood flow back into them, or you can even lightly hit your muscles. All right, we're gonna do our second toe stretch now. I'll do it facing this way so you can see my feet. Once again, notice how I'm stabbing my toes into the mat, and I'm coming down into this top of heel sit. If this is too much, you can bring your hips up, or you can even rest your arms on the ground and do something like this. Find whatever version works for you. And again, your numbers can change. You can hold this for 20 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute, whatever you want to do. I would highly suggest keeping a journal so that way you can see what you did, and the next time you do it, you can slowly progress all of your stretches. 3, 2, and 1. All right, so those are the stretches for your hamstrings and your hips. You can do as many rounds of that as you want. Normally, I'll do 3 rounds, and if I'm feeling ambitious, I'll do somewhere between 4, 5, or 6. But that also takes a lot more time. So if you don't have that much time to spare, you're gonna do less rounds. All right, to end things out, I'm gonna grease the groove, as they say. I want to get my hip socket nice and lubricated and ready for movement. So I'm actually sitting on the edge of my yoga blocks and I'm internally and externally rotating the hip. I'm not really looking to get a stretch with this. I'm looking to eliminate any pops or cracks that might happen when you move your hip. Again, this is why I said I'm greasing the groove, right? We want to keep all of our joints loose, or not loose, we want to keep all of our joints lubricated. We want to create that synovial fluid within the joint to make sure everything moves properly, smoothly. I'm trying to do my maximum internal and external rotation. All right, and now I'm gonna go to the other side. Once again, you don't have to sit on the yoga block for this routine. You could do all of this on the ground, but if you're watching this video, you probably do have tight hips and tight hamstrings, so I would highly suggest starting on the yoga block and then finding thinner surfaces and working your way down to the ground as you go. All right, you guys should watch the video that's on the screen right now if you want to learn more ways to incorporate exercise and movement into your life. As always, I'm Mini Movement Man saying be kind to one another. Be kind to one another and move well. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.